Nicole Howard. I'm representing the New York, New Jersey Animal Rights Alliance of America. I understand that on July 12th, through the poor condition of the existing shelter, a dog named Shelby that was a recent return adoption was able to escape his kennel, and he attacked another dog named Mama, who had been at the shelter for a while, and that dog was being walked by a volunteer. There were 2 ACOs present, as well as multiple volunteers, but no one was properly equipped or able to break up a dog fight at that time. This fight went on long enough for one of the dogs to die on the property, and later, when the division manager came back, the attacking dog was ordered to be euthanized, and the following morning, the remaining pit bull type dogs that were at the shelter, which there were 5, were ordered to be put down as well. These dogs were not involved in the fight, and they were all contained in their own kennels, and one of those dogs was actually a dog I had turned in, and that dog's name was Scarlet. I found her in my neighborhood about a month prior. She was injured. I was told when I did bring her there that she was going to get medical attention, which she did. So it was about a $400 vet bill, I believe, that was accrued, and she went to the vet that day, and I thought everything was going to be fine. And I was assured by the shelter staff that they did everything in their power to not euthanize animals. The rates have been very low over the past couple of years. And I left there feeling pretty good about things, and I wanted to make every effort to help her get adopted. And when I left, I said, I made it clear to the shelter staff that if there was a problem with her, if there was a sudden sense of overcrowding at the shelter, that I wanted to be contacted, and I would take her in myself. And I would find a home for her, I would take her into my home, I would do something, but obviously there was a 7-day stranglehold and vetting involved afterwards. She was under veterinary care for well over 2 weeks and on antibiotics. She was never claimed, and I made frequent visits and phone calls to the shelter to check on her status, find out when she would be fixed, when she would be available for adoption, and I was not given a straight answer. When her wounds are better, we don't know if she's had an evaluation yet, that type of thing. About a month and 2 days after I relinquished her to the shelter, I was contacted by the division manager that said there was a situation that had happened at the shelter the day prior, and some difficult decisions had to be made, and she was involved in that. So as it turned out, because of the dog fight between the 2 dogs on the shelter property, the remaining 5 dogs were euthanized, and I received a phone call to say that the dog I had surrendered was dead, but I did not receive a phone call to say that she was available for adoption, which my understanding was she was available for adoption 2 days prior to being killed. So I'm not sure why I couldn't be contacted prior to this, but I wasn't. I went to the shelter that evening to talk to the staff, to find out what happened, why I wasn't contacted. Everyone knew my face there, and I wasn't able to talk to the division manager because he was taking another dog to rescue. That dog also was supposedly had issues with other dogs, was not to be, would prefer a home with other dogs, prefer a home without small children, prefer a home without cats. These same preferences applied to some of the dogs that were put down, but this dog was a Belgian Shepherd mix, and he was allowed to go to a rescue, while the pit bull types were just killed with no contacting anyone. I just feel that there was a sweeping decision made. It was kind of a rash decision that was targeting a specific breed of dog.
The SPCA determined that there was no further action necessary, that the township acted properly in euthanizing the dog. As our police responded, followed by the SPCA. The SPCA interviewed the entire staff. They came in, did an evaluation, and issued a report. September the 8th, we received it that said that the township, there was no further action necessary.
Those decisions were made to ensure public safety due to aggression, not a specific breed. We targeted aggression, not any specific breed. I don't repeat that. It was to ensure public safety, the safety of the staff, the volunteers, and the other animals at the facility. Myself and my department head, Joan Benson, made those decisions. We don't make those decisions lightly. To clarify two important things, Ms. Howard. I gave you every opportunity to remove that dog from the facility 7 days after the hold. After that 7 days they hold, I told you any reputable rescue or yourself if you wanted to take that dog out. You chose not to do that.
She wasn't available for enough.
Due to, I gave you that opportunity, I told you I did on more than one occasion. To address the German Shepherd that was removed, that dog was on the guarded seat. German Shepherd rescue rating was for approximately 6 months. Had passed their temperament test, was dominant, was not dog aggressive. All the dogs that were euthanized were dog aggressive, or kennel aggressive, or fear aggressive. And that's what those decisions were made for to ensure safety.
Good evening. My name is Kay Riviello from the New York Animal Rights Alliance. Thank you so much for the opportunity to make public comment, Mayor and Common Council. I'm very gratified to be here this evening and to address this issue. I have been rescuing dogs and cats for 30 years now. The reason why Tom's River, New Jersey shelter has come to my attention is because you have a pile of 7 dead dogs, and they just happen to be so-called pit bulls. The first thing that I heard was that a dog got loose from a kennel and attacked, I guess it was the mascot, which must have been a really sweet doggy. I, in 30 years, even throughout the entire country, we have chapters in every state, I have never heard of a dog getting loose out of its kennel. So this shelter must be pretty decrepit.
Can you read the report?
Can I finish my statement and I'll discuss
You're
it?
making statements as to what occurred or what you heard. I'm just asking if you have read the report.
The SPCA report? No, I'm going by eyewitness accounts.
Okay.
Thank you. Just make my statement and then we'll discuss it.
Yeah, have you been to the shelter?
I have not been to the shelter. All I know is the dog got loose out of the kennel. Is that not true?
And you're talking about a pile of dead dogs.
We got a pile of 7 dead dogs. Okay, we have.
Wait. We went through the procedure that was followed, which was.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can I please make my comment?
It was something that
If I can just make my comment and then we'll have a discussion.
If you want to state facts, okay. I think, this
Sorry,
pile of 7
I'm
dogs.
just saying why I'm here in Tom's River, New Jersey. You have a pile of 7 dead dogs, and I'd like to discuss that with you. And it's for the public benefit as well.
Go ahead.
Not just for the council, but for the public. So in any case, when you have a pile of dead dogs, to me, what that means from a shelter, and you got to understand, I'm studying shelters all over the country. In fact, on November 12th, we had a national protest against kill shelters in America. So I'm really in touch with the shelter system. And when you have a pile of 7 dead pit bulls,
Ma'am,
sir,
I'm not going to let you sit here
within a 24-hour period.
No, we're not. There's 7 piles of dead dogs.
All right, I won't say
that's
that. Can I continue?
That's it. Yes, please.
Apparently, the dog was attacked, and first of all, I've never heard of 2 animal control officers not being able to take 2 dogs apart. So that was the first thing that I was really concerned with, that the 2 animal control officers did not have the competence to separate the 2 dogs. Okay, so
Do you know if that happened, or is that what somebody told you?
Were you there?
This is my eyewitness account. The rest of my statement is completely based on eyewitness accounts and anecdotal statements.
Anecdotal statements of somebody that.
Affidavits, if you will. So please let me continue my statement. Oh my gosh. In any case, a dog attacked a dog, so then that dog was killed, so the one that was the attacker. But then the next day, really troubling, the trouble continues, is that the 5 pit bulls that were in the facility in the same 24-hour period were killed. And by the way, let me just address the word euthanize for everyone. There is a movement in the country to remove the word euthanize from any ordinance, because euthanize only refers to killing a terminally ill animal. It shouldn't refer to killing an animal that's healthy. There is a veterinary movement in that regard. Hang on. Now, so then the 5 were killed the next day. I just want to address for a minute pit bull. It's not a breed of dog, and I just wanted to address breed-specific legislation, if you've heard of it, where municipalities are saying that pit bulls are not allowed in the municipality. Denver.
We don't have.
I know that. I'm just
Okay.
introducing.
But your question is
Sir, please.
We don't have.
Don't I get 5 minutes?
We don't have an ordinance specifically outlawing pit bulls.
I know, but what I'm doing is warning this municipality that you could slip into such a thing very dangerous.
I don't think that will.
Okay, well, I just want to remind this municipality that breed-specific legislation is unconstitutional.
And we don't have any of that. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, may I continue? This is for another minute, I guess. I am in the middle of suing shelters on 3 areas: abuse, negligence, and incompetence.
Okay. None of those happen here.
Sir, according to whom? The
According to the
SPCA?
SPCA,
I need to review that report and...
you will get it.
Gosh,
Why don't you review it before you make an accusation?
Sir, I thank you for being here and having the opportunity to make a comment, but you have made this very difficult, sir. I'm very disappointed. I just want to talk for a minute, if you
Council President,
about no-kill paradigm.
Council President, I want to interrupt. 10 minutes is up. There's a couple more people.
I didn't speak for 10 minutes.
The timer is on.
I did not speak for 10
All right,
minutes.
I recommend we go on to the next person.
All right, so...
No-kill paradigm, if I can just address that for a minute, is movement in America for shelters, and I hope that that's the direction that Thomas River is going in. We have free, low-cost spay-neuter, superior veterinary care, behavior specialists that can really evaluate a dog, that only animals that are terminally ill be euthanized, and with a huge awareness and education program. Okay, I'll end my statement. Oh my gosh. By asking, is this an aberration of your shelter? I acknowledge that.
This is an aberration, I'm going to tell you that.
Okay.
I think that the whatever word you want to use for a dog when it's put down is very low. It's gotten low in this.
I appreciate
this
that,
shelter.
sir.
Okay.
What I will have to warn you that now that you've come into this radar, that we will be watching, and I guess I'm actually warning the shelter.
Yes, sir. My name is Prentice Bisbal. I'm not from this county, but I was considering adopting the dog, one of the dogs that was euthanized. Now, I'm going to speak specifically about this incident, and I'm going to speak specifically about what I saw and witnessed firsthand. And I did not see the SPCA report, so I can't speak to it, and I appreciate it if you don't refer to it yourself since I haven't seen it yet. Now,
Were you there when this incident took place?
no, but I wanted to speak to some things that Jim Bowen had said that I know are not true because I saw them firsthand.
If you weren't there, how did you see him firsthand and know that?
Okay, well, I'm not talking about the incident where the dog was fought. I'm talking about what had been told to Nikki and me regarding the adoption of that dog and its suitability for adoption. Okay? So, Nikki went to that shelter several times a week to check on the status of it. She was there probably 3 or 4 times a week and kept asking when it would be available for adoption. I went with her on the weekend since I don't live in the area. Every time I was there, and I was there I think only a few days before this incident happened and these dogs were killed, and we kept asking if the dog that Nikki had turned in, well, you know, to the shelter, had been temperament tested, because that was a precondition for being adopted, that to make sure the dog was not aggressive. We were told repeatedly that the trainer had not been able to assess the dog, and therefore the dog was not eligible for adoption. They also said the dog was still on medication and could not be adopted until its medical regimen was complete. Okay? And it also had a wound on its back, and that wound, we said, it would not be allowed out for adoption until the wound was healed. So, we had been told repeatedly that the dog was not eligible for adoption. So, and I witnessed this firsthand from shelter staff. So I will say that what Jim Bowen got up here and said was patent lies or complete miscommunications by his staff to us. Now, Nikki had also offered to post flyers because she felt responsible for this dog and wanted to make sure it found a home. And like I said, I was considering adopting the dog myself. Now, we were told that the dog could not be adopted out and that we couldn't, make any efforts to find it a home at that time. Now, he claims that these dogs were all killed because that they had been assessed by a professional dog trainer, dog psychologist, that they were assessed as dangerous dogs. I say that is a lie, and I can also tell you that there were other dogs in the shelter that were deemed aggressive and dangerous that were not euthanized because they were a different breed. This particular pit bull was in a kennel right next to a coonhound called Hot Dog. That coonhound had signs on the kennel that said, do not walk this dog, it is aggressive, it is dangerous, do not put your fingers inside the kennel, do not walk on a leash. That dog was still alive and was adopted out. That Belgian Shepherd, which we brought up before, was also marked as aggressive and was not euthanized and stayed in shelter after the other dogs were euthanized. We had also seen a large bull mastiff that was adopted out before this incident that seemed to be very aggressive and scary. Okay, so for him to kill every pit bull in there, purely for being a pit bull and other pit bulls getting a fight, is akin to an Italian and an Irishman in jail getting in a fight and then every Italian and Irishman being killed. These dogs I don't believe were properly identified by professionals being aggressive, and that Jim Bowen is up here lying, saying that these dogs were aggressive. Some of them might have been, but I don't think they all were. And if all the dogs were killed for being aggressive, why was not the coonhound killed?
All right, let me have Jim. He's made some accusations. I'd like you to you can respond to him, please.
Once again, to clarify, Chelsea, she was not going to be placed for adoption to the general public. I gave Miss Howard every opportunity to pull that dog.
I was there. You did not.
Again, we have a simple case of miscommunication. I gave her every opportunity to pull it herself or put it into a reputable rescue group. I told her that from the day she brought the dog into the facility. I'll reiterate again, the German Shepherd was on the waiting list, and temperament tested by Garden State German Shepherd Rescue, was on a waiting list for 6 months. It was purely coincidental that I transported it a day or two after the severity of the incident. Again, we didn't target pits. There were several pit cases that were not euthanized, and they're still at the shelter today.
Okay, you didn't address Hot Dog.
Hot Dog is not aggressive, nor kennel aggressive.
Okay,
I'd like to finish.
I have proof the dog was labeled aggressive, not really.
It's a liability issue. I don't even have to get back. It's pure liability.
Hi, my name is Lisa Caputo. The dogs that were put down did show aggression towards other dogs. And it comes a point where you have to put emotion aside and intelligence prevails. And you say, as a director, am I going to have my staff having the chance of getting bitten, or a child who's at the shelter? There's a very good chance those dogs can get loose. On occasion it happens. And I think Jim made the right decision because he protected me as a volunteer.
My name is Nicole Esposito. I'm the current kennel technician at the shelter. I was not there the day of the attack, but I do want to say that there does come a time when you have to set aside all emotion. No offense to anybody, I'm the one, and they're the ones who get into those kennels every day and have to deal with the dogs, whether they're aggressive or the friendliest things on the planet.
The liability issue, you highlighted the issue where you said that this dog would run the liability if somebody were to come in and adopt this dog. The ASPCA backs up our directors, and I'm comfortable with that decision.
My name's Rosie Kane Matthews, and I'm from Galloway, New Jersey, which is right outside Atlantic City. I actively participate in going to the shelters in my area. I came up here tonight and witnessed the most appalling council meeting that I have ever seen. Gentlemen throwing their head back in laughter over 7 dead dogs. Whether or not they thought this action was correct, there was no humor. I hope that the public jumps on this and takes action against Toms River, New Jersey. They're a disgrace.
My name is Linda Adams. I came into this tonight to support this atrocity that happened at this shelter. I know firsthand through my daughter what happened there. I expected some sort of justice, or at least the ability to be heard tonight. The people that spoke for our cause were ridiculed, laughed at, interrupted, and were not even given the time that they were allotted to speak. I'm appalled at this, at all of this what I've seen here tonight.
My name is Shirley Skull. I'm from Tuckerton, New Jersey. I came here with my friends today because of the incident with the dogs. It's a terrible shame what happened. It should have never happened. And these people really should be held accountable for what they've done. Nobody should have the right to put down 5, 6 dogs when they didn't do anything wrong.
I'm Nikki Howard. I'm from New Jersey Animal Rights Alliance of America. This is some of the posters I made for tonight's council meeting. Unfortunately, I did not have pictures of King or Pokey. These are pictures I took in June. These are actually pet finder photos of dogs that were killed. Something I pulled offline. Well, pit bulls need love too. This is my girl, Chelsea, that I surrendered. She was young, beautiful, wanted to sit in your lap, would do anything for a treat, and she's dead. Dead after a month and 2 days of being surrendered to a shelter that promised me they would take care of her, and that I would be notified when she's available for adoption. I was notified when she was dead. I was not notified 2 days prior when she was put on Pet Finder. Even if you were in the state of New Jersey and you got on Pet Finder and looked for a red-nosed young female pit bull, you're not going to find her in 2 days. There's just not enough time. I was not allowed to network the dogs. I was not allowed to take better pictures of the dogs. Any efforts of networking, either online or by making old-fashioned flyers, were rebuffed. I miss this dog every day. Every single day. And I regret what I did by turning her into the Toms River Animal Facility. 9 weeks ago tomorrow. She will be gone.
This is Kay Riviello from the New York Animal Rights Alliance America in Toms River, New Jersey at the Common Council meeting regarding the slaughter of 7 dogs at the Toms River shelter. Obviously, this is a tragedy that involves incompetence, abuse, and negligence on so many levels. As you saw at the Common Council meeting, the only thing that the Common Council has to hang their hat on is the SPCA report, a report by people who were not even at the incident. We have affidavits from at least 3 people of eyewitness accounts of the levels of this atrocity that we are going to consider legal action. They have engaged in breed-specific discrimination. Though they don't have BSL enacted in Toms River, New Jersey, they still engaged in this unconstitutional mandate, as was evidenced by the victory in Oklahoma in the Jerry Stuckey case. We will fight this. We will put Toms River Shelter on the map as a result of their abuse, negligence, and incompetence regarding this case. We will do our own investigation, and we will continue to monitor and investigate Toms River Shelter and Jim Bowen, the shelter director, and all of his activities from this time forward. The revolution begins toward true no-kill in America on November 12th. We will have a national protest against kill pounds in America. This is Kay Riviello with the New York Animal Rights Alliance America in the New Jersey chapter, reminding you that animals will never have justice until animals have rights. Thank you for joining us, and have a good night.